these are the sounds of the Hideous musical bliss kits. We're gonna give it to you like this.
Hi guys, I'm very excited to be joined by Julian, who's from SG Gaming, and we're going to be talking about some Rainbow Riches games today. I know a lot of people, whenever I look on the forum or we're talking about comments, people are always like, look, you don't play enough Rainbow Riches games. Julian's here to tell us why we should play more Rainbow Riches games and talk about Rainbow Riches PowerMix, which is their latest release and is now out. It's out everywhere now. Julian, is it across all operators?
Yeah, it's out everywhere now. We've got general release quite a few months ago now, so yeah, it should be everywhere now.
Before we do that, I want to pick up on maybe one other. One of my favourites, Rainbow Riches Pick and Mix. I used to play this a lot in the bookies, and like one of the things I'm thinking, you've got great crossover now between the sort of games that a number of people will have been used to seeing in the bookies. They're also getting them online now. With regard to like SG moving forward, are there going to be any more things which are sort of specific in the bookies, or are you going to be releasing both at the same time everywhere now?
A bit of both. A bit of both, to be honest, William. We are looking at a more sort of omni strategy for content from a UK perspective, especially trying to release those at the same time. So there's obviously complexities with that in terms of distribution and who it goes live with, but it's definitely something that we're working quite closely with UK retail on to look at omni launches. But generally, if we do launch similar games, and they are a few months apart sometimes, but we do go our own way as well, and land-based do go their own way as well with certain games, especially some of the Rainbow Riches ones. And from that, we can gauge performance, how well they've done, if it's something we should look at digitally, and vice versa.
The great thing about Rainbow Riches, I mean, how old is the Rainbow Riches franchise now? I'm thinking 17 years,
that's
maybe?
Good questions. I think it might be more. I mean, it could be more, to be honest, because originally Barcrest, wasn't it? Who had it before SG purchased Barcrest. So I actually don't know, to be honest. It feels like forever, but yeah.
Stop. We have the Road to Riches bonus.
Oh, that was quick.
I am playing Premium Play.
Right. Okay. Sorry, William. I was just going to say, Premium Play is something that we actually got from land-based as well. So again, that's something that again was really successful in land-based that we're moving to digital as well. Sorry to stop you.
Yeah, so I mean that's one of the things that when I remember when the bookies sort of changed things over. When the bookies changed things over, that is something which came into the bookies, like sort of replace the fact that they'd dropped the stakes down and stuff like that. It was a maximum £2 stake, wasn't it, in the bookies, and so now they brought that in, and now you put that in on the online slots as well. So does it perform well? Is that what people want to play? Do you think
it is? I mean, again, it's very similar to the land-based a lot of the time. I mean, people like different options, don't they? And I think one thing that we definitely recognised is that UK operators were looking to reduce the maximum stakes. I mean, we had big bet for a lot of these games, so just as a project in itself, we wanted to replicate what we did from a land-based perspective, but also B was to reduce the stakes, because some of the buy-ins were like 40 or 50 times your stake, which is quite high, especially for UK customers. Yeah, so what we tried to do was just reduce those stakes and put in a 3x3 slot. So when you do win, you do actually go into the bonus. So it does reduce the stakes as well, and we are seeing good numbers on the premium play options, and something we're looking to extend as well.
Yeah, I mean, is that like? I'm sorry, I was just going to say I'm going to reset my bonus now and go for pots. Pots is like. When you used to play the sort of the £500 versions of Rainbow Riches, pots was, you were dreaming of landing 3 pots. This is what it was, and then you want pots and then gold, or sometimes those pots would go really high. You have a massive silver. Here it's a little bit sort of a different idea, isn't it? Because you've got different amounts, and they all sort of like have a bronze, silver, or gold value. Is that the way it is in PowerMix as well?
In PowerMix, yes, it is. Yeah, in PowerMix it is as well. Yeah, it's very similar to Pick and Mix, to be honest. The traditional bonus rounds which you find in Rainbow Riches and Pick and Mix is something that we've carried across to PowerMix, as well as the PowerMix bonus, which we can talk about separately.
Yeah, I'm excited about playing the PowerMix bonus, because we've actually had some big wins from the PowerMix feature. Just before the call, we were chatting about it, and you were saying how excited you were about this PowerMix feature, and and you were all sort of playing it in the office.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the best bonus rounds. I mean, I'm going to say this, no, but it is one of the best bonus rounds that I've played in terms of excitement. I mean, it is quite a high hit rate to get into there, so the average payout is quite high. But in terms of what can go on in the PowerMix bonus, there's quite a lot of stuff that can be retrospective as well. So you think you win in a certain amount, and then next thing you know, values get doubled. There's multiplier zones happening, and everything multiplies each other. So there's so much excitement within the game. It's not just a case of progressively getting more and more and more and more, which it is to a certain extent, but there's also things that can move back, and a times 10 could double itself 3 times, and be times 80. So there's some of these figures can be absolutely massive. So yeah, we really enjoyed it. All the team played it. It was highly immersive.
When you're talking about content at SG,
yes.
is there a shift now? Because we're seeing a lot of volatile games coming in. It's games that can pay out sort of like anything up to, tens of thousands of X. Is it something that you have to think about when you're designing the next set of games to try and sort of stay up with some of these other providers that are like knocking in these huge X amounts, or do you want to stick to the core and give people better returns sort of short term?
No, it's really good. It's a really good question, and I think from an SG perspective, we have to be sort of reticent of we have to be aware of all customers in all demographics. So UK, Europe, US, Canada. We have to, when we're producing slots, we are more targeted now towards those different jurisdictions, whereas probably 18 months to 2 years ago, it was a case of, okay, how can this game work in the UK? How can it work in Europe? And how can it work in the US? Whereas now we're more focused on each one of these particular areas. Like with UK, and like you mentioned with Europe, the big sort of maximum payouts and the volatility of the games is something that traditional slot players, I would say, naturally move to. If you do like your slots and you like your slots, then the more sort of volatile games is where you'll move to. So yeah, I think to answer your question, I think there is more a move to the more volatile slots, but I think from a UK perspective, that adds risk to operators, because operators see that there's big walkaway moments with highly volatile slots. So say for example you're winning 2,500 times your stakes. Perfect time to walk away and take.
Everyone's leaving at that point, aren't they?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No one's. Well, if you're sticking around after that, then I think that there's something up. You should be saying, right, okay, I'm going to take that money and go and book myself a nice little holiday or a day trip or something, depending on your stake.
Yes, exactly, and I think that's really good advice, and that's what I'll tell a lot of people when they do have those big sort of walkaway moments. Walk away, buy yourself something for it, and you'll always remember that win, because you've got A, something physically to show from it, but B, you'll always remember that particular win. So
exactly.
But that's something we have to be aware of from an operator perspective. If we did all these crazy high volatile slots in the UK market, for example, we could ask what's the biggest multiplier, and we could say, well, it's times 5,000, and operators could potentially say, well, we're not taking it because that's too much of a risk for us. So it's just getting the right balance across all the different jurisdictions and markets.
It is really interesting that you say that as well, because we do get some comments from people that they're like, oh, no one ever wins these huge amounts, but I think, clearly they are being won. Some people do win massive, and you wouldn't, the game providers wouldn't get this pushback unless off the operators, unless there are some genuine winners, and like you say that if people are winning, and when they do win, they do walk away, and that is because they beat the casino at that point.
They have, yeah, and it's highly regulated, isn't it? Slots probably more than most other industries in the UK, especially. Yeah. So everything is above board in terms of these volatile slots that do pay out. You're right, and the do pay out. It's just unfortunate sometimes it's not you, and I'm one of those that never really gets those big wins, massive wins. But it's just it comes with experience.
I didn't want to hear a sob story. I don't want to hear the sob story.
It's not a sob story. It's not a sob story. I'm still happening. It's fine. But yeah, you do get those big wins from the customer set, and I think from our perspective we see that because we get the distribution across all the different operators, and it's something we're very aware of in terms of monitoring the RTPs to making sure that they're paying out as what they say they are, and within that we do get the feedback in terms of customers have won X times the stake on this game on this particular operator. So we see the bigger picture and we see everything. So I can categorically say that these big wins do happen, especially on the volatile slots, relatively quickly.
That's
as well.
Good. A little bit of reassurance there for people.
Yeah.
I've loaded up PowerMix because I was getting absolutely rinsed on. Have you been watching that? I just got destroyed over on.
I want to be fair. No.
Having said that, though, I was spinning pots, which is probably that comes in the least. Is that right? Does pots come in less often than these other bonuses? Are they?
What, in the PowerMix?
Well, I'm kind of in the PowerMix.
I think Fields of Gold is your biggest hit rate into bonus on this one. I think Pots of Gold is very close. I think, well, I've got it here. I think Fields of Gold's about 125, and I think Pots of Gold's 115. So there's not much in it.
Okay, so in terms of options are plenty here coming in on PowerMix. You can kind of is that something which we're sort of encouraging people to do? Like choose your level of volatility almost in like if I just want lots of stuff to happen, I could choose 4 lots of Road to Riches, right? Is that
yeah, Road to Riches happens most frequently out of the 4 standard bonuses that 5 standard bonuses that you get in PowerMix. So yes, that's something that will happen quite a lot. But on the flip side, it's not going to pay as much.
Yeah. Okay. But that's great. I think that's great. Like I think that's actually what people like. We've talked about volatility. We've talked about giving the players what they want. Like, what better way of giving the players what they want than letting them choose? That's one of the things. I mean, like, you didn't put it out as a selling point of this game, but like, it is very interesting to let people sort of like really dial it in. I just want something to happen more often. I'm going to take 4 lots of Road to Riches, or I just want big money. Give me 4 lots of pots of gold or the Fields of Gold bonus.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think that's one of the advantages, playing the sort of 4 slots at the same time, is that you can move across all those 4 slots depending on your balance, I suppose. You can target 1 bonus across all 4, or you can do 4 individuals. I think, like you say, it's just down to the customer in terms of what their personal taste is and what they want to play for. But ultimately, the PowerMix bonus is the one that is the one you definitely want to be playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna so I haven't managed
to get it.
It is, well, I'd love to get it. I don't just want to get it for the sake of the interview. I'd like to get it because I'm guessing it. What's the average sort of return? Can we talk about it? Is there an average return? Or?
Yeah, there is. So, I mean, one thing just to bear in mind is with the PowerMix bonus, because you're playing across 4 different slots here, so the stake in the PowerMix is, a quarter of that stake. It's not all 4. So how much are you playing for that? £4. So for
I'm in euros. I'm on 4 euros. We're continental here.
So all right. So on average, then, if you got to PowerMix bonus, you'd be probably winning 510 on average.
Yeah, I mean that's a great hit. That's a great hit.
And the minimum is 80, I think, in terms of time. So you're never going to get times 5, times 10 times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're never going to get small amounts. There's always something chunky, I suppose, that you'll come out with. And I think the max wins 12,500 times your stake.
Yeah, which is massive. I mean,
it's unbelievably massive.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we often get, like in terms of like feedback, and I'm sure we'll hear some of this feedback in the comments below the video. People are like, "Oh, we hate these 0x bonuses." One of the things that you don't get with Rainbow Riches, you don't get a 0x bonus. Sometimes you get a low bonus, but like these are you're getting something. People do kind of feel a little bit. Oh, nice.
That is nice.
Nice, a nice €50 hit there.
Yeah, I mean, you feel as if you've been done by, don't you, when you get that? And for me, it's one of those. Again, it's a negative effect on that game, isn't it? Because as a player, you're playing the game, you've played quite a lot of time to get to that bonus, you've invested quite a lot of money to get there, and then if you get, like you say, 0x times in your bonus, it's like, am I really going to play this again? Or am I going to go again because I know it might potentially pay more next? It's all a mindset.
It does mess with people's head, but like you say,
it does, yeah.
Give people what they want. People like I say, we I don't know how long we've been since we loaded the game up. I'm thinking probably 2 or 3 minutes. We put 4 low volatility bonuses on, and yeah, we've had some action. That's it. Like that seems to be like that's kind of following what we would expect. I'm sure if we'd have put, it might have happened. We did get the €50 hit, but like I'm sure if we'd have put 4 lots of pots on, we might not have been so lucky. But this is we've got the stake per array here, so like this is the distinction that you're making, isn't it? So although we're paying like €4 per go, if you like, that's a go on all windows. So this window was worth €1.
It is, yeah, because you initiate one of the 4 bonuses that you can from the 4 different real arrays. So we just wanted to make that quite clear to the customer, because it can be potentially confusing if that wasn't shown. Because the suggestion is that they might think it's £4, which because you're playing 4 slots,
Yeah, well, it looks like we're on for hang on, €25 anyway, which is not too bad.
I always struggle to get past this.
This is where
it is, isn't it? This is the point, isn't it? Where
I can always remember speaking to Stop and Step, and he thought that this area on the right was the pub, and he made some sort of cliche remark about Irish people not being able to get past the pub. I'm not sure that we're allowed to say that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, decent. 25. I mean, that's. I think that's what. Like the other thing is, if you'd have completely changed it up, and those Road to Riches bonuses were all of a sudden paying like 4 or 5x, I think you get a big backlash there. People want to know, it doesn't matter what Rainbow Riches game you're playing. If you get the Road to Riches bonus, you do tend to get to... You would expect to get to that level, wouldn't you? 15, 20, 25x. I think that's kind of... That's about right for it, yeah?
Yeah, I think on average it's probably a 9 or 10 to be honest. But yeah, in PowerMix.
Okay, maybe I'm just very lucky.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. I think it's back to your point, isn't it, in terms of, you know, there's different bonus rounds, there's customer choice there. You're getting into the bonuses on a regular basis throughout the 4 different slots. It's, you know, it's the entertainment value, which is something that's not generally talked about a lot, but I think it's massive in terms of more UK customers than anything else, because we're all being used to slots, you know, from a land-based perspective. So we've always seen slots, and we're the sort of leading player slots digitally as well across the globe. And I think for me, you know, with games like this, it's the entertainment value. You want to enjoy your experience. And, you know, we were talking about highly volatile slots, you know, 5-10 minutes ago. And when you're playing those slots,
we're in the game. We're in the game. I can keep it. You can't finish a sentence without us landing a Road to Riches.
Well, I don't mind that. But it's back to the point, though, isn't it? When you're playing, you know, highly volatile slots, the entertainment value is just not there. I think most of the time, it's just, you know, you're literally just pressing that button, hoping for that one bonus that'll pay massive, and then you can, you know, take your money and run. Whereas, you know, a lot of customers like to play games for the entertainment value. You know, you've got 15, 20 minutes here, you know, between whatever they're doing. They want to play on the mobile phones. They want to enjoy the experience, and it's an experience more than anything else, I think, to some players, not to all players. You know,
I think it fosters a better relationship with the gambling itself, because I mean, okay, we got 12x that time. Because, you know, I always keep saying it, but like I feel like I always need to keep saying it, because you know, people can be quite selective with the hearing, but like we're not investing money here, we're just having fun. You know,
yes, like, exactly. You know, whatever you're prepared to have a gamble of, you know, it's like going to the pub or doing this. You know how much you've got in your pocket you'll be able to spend. And at the end of the night, you generally don't come back with, you know, what you went out with. But sometimes you do if you go.
But sometimes you do if you get lucky. And like the important thing is to have had a great experience. I guess the whole legacy behind the Rainbow Riches franchise, if you like, is the fact that it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't have been, you know, SG's best performer and keep getting, you know, new releases if it wasn't performing. You know, people love it. People love the game.
Exactly. You know, yeah, we wouldn't be making games if customers weren't playing it. You know, so you know, if you see all these, you know, Rainbow Riches games coming out, they're coming out for a reason. You know, we've got the data, we've got the statistics. We look at the customers playing it. Obviously, UK customers play it more than anybody else. You know, it's not something that's widely played in US or Europe, though they do have Road to Riches in the US. But you're right. Yeah, it's, you know, it's something that people can A, recognise, B, associate with as an entertainment value. You know, they've played this game, like you've just mentioned, you're getting plenty of action there, and that's what customers like. You know, they haven't got 3 or 4 hours to spin; they've got half an hour or 20 minutes. So yeah, I think it's a really good point.
Okay, well, we're gonna like I said. Oh, hang on, we've got one more bonus, so we will watch this last bonus out. Like I say, I mean, I would have loved to have stayed and just kept chatting to you until we landed the PowerMix, but you know, it can take some time. I will splice in some PowerMix footage afterwards so people can get an idea of what it is. But like you say, it's kind of we're talking multipliers are landing, and you know, it can really go off, can't it?
It can. There's multipliers, like you say. There's multipliers landing. It's a 6x10 grid, so there's 60 positions there. I think it starts with a multiplier zone, so the leprechaun lands, and then all the squares that are adjacent to it have a multiplier, anything from ×2 to, let's say, ×10, I think, or ×5 or ×10. And then anything that lands in there is multiplied by that. And multiplier zones can come in at any particular time as well. You've also got the extra life. So with this bonus, with the PowerMix bonus round, you have 3 lives. You know, a multiplier has to land or something has to land for the lives to be reset. So there's an extra life. It goes up to 4 life.
Oh, right, okay. So then you could. Okay. So then you've got like sort of okay, right. I like that idea.
Then there's a wishing well, but there's a wishing well in the PowerMix. So basically, if the wishing well lands, any multipliers that are in view are all added to that particular box. Anything, every multiplier in there is added to that, and you can get multiple wishing wells as well.
Oh right, okay. So they're all then going to sort of collect the amounts.
Yeah, so say for example you've got the grid 6x10, you're currently on ×80, then a wishing well lands, the ×80 will move into that box and you still get the ×80 all there, so that becomes ×160. But also on top of that, you can get the fairy. I mean, for me, the fairy, I didn't think this would be the best one, but it literally is the best feature within the game for me anyway. I don't know, you know, customers might think, but it randomly doubles any of the multipliers up to 3 times. So, for example, it could say, like, I'm just gonna randomly update 6 of these numbers on the board And it could be the wishing well as well. So the wishing well, as our example, that could be showing times 80. That can double up to 3 times in the same move. So the fairy says, right, I'm going to do it once, I'm going to do it twice, I'm going to do it 3 times, and it's going to do multiple multipliers multiple times. Trying to say that after a few drink. But yeah, so that's really where the excitement comes in. And then on top of that, if you get a multiplier zone which can come in at any time on top of that, so say for example you've got a wishing well doubled up a few times with a fairy, you can have a multiplier zone coming in, and if it's in a multiplier zone, it multiplies that as well. So there's a lot of retrospective things that can happen within the game. It's not just a case of it starts at times 0 and goes to times 100. You know, it can keep going back and forth in terms of, oh, we're going to add this to that, and that's going to be this. So I mean, this is where I think psychologically it's just fantastic. It's got everything within the game, which, you know, there's a lot of unexpected things happening, which is always great when you're in a bonus round, isn't it? And
you make it the way that you're talking about it you make it sound like it could almost work as a standalone sort of table game. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like exciting, and do you know what I mean? That it's exciting enough, and I mean, it's great that it's involved here in the bonus and something. I mean, maybe it's better not to be able to just sort of directly access that and buy it. Maybe it's better to.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I suppose from a financial perspective, it probably would be, because, you know, more people would play it. But I take your point in terms of it's something to look forward to. But, you know, on the back of this particular bonus round, we are working with other games to sort of incorporate most of this functionality. So watch this space in terms of other games that will include this kind of sort of PowerMix bonus round, because this was really the bonus round which really excited us, and we really wanted to include this into other games and potentially people seeing it a little bit more frequently, because back to your point, it is something that is quite rare, but, you know, most people, when they do get it, they'll be happy that they've got it and have a nice multiplier. So yeah, it's something that we're really proud of in terms of this sort of bonus round. In terms of
like moving forward, is there any? Do you want to drop any? Do you want to drop? I mean, I didn't brief you on this, so I'm really going to put you on the spot. Do you want to brief on anything that's exciting coming in the future, and then maybe in the first or second quarter here?
Oh mate, yeah. I mean, yeah. I remember when I first started, because I started in December 2020, and Rob Proctor, who couldn't unfortunately make it, I was speaking to him when we started. He goes, I've got a fantastic, I don't mind mentioning the brand because it's going to be going live in March. He said, I've got a great brand for you, because I'm a bit of a sci-fi freak. I love Star Trek, Star Wars, anything sci-fi. So he says, potentially we've got Stargate. So.
Oh, right, okay. Was that a TV series or was that a film?
Both. Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then it went.
You know, Jason. SG1. Like before my hair went, I was dead. I was all Kurt Russell. I was Kurt Russell down here. Not really.
But yeah, there was SG1, then there was Atlantis, and there was other variants as well. So it's massive following. And I don't know if you know the music to that, but the music's unbelievable. So it was one of the first things I tried to get was the music for the game, which took a while to get, but I think we've got it. So that goes live in March, and that's one that I'm working on with Matt.
Okay, so it's still in production. It's still sort of like hot off the press, really. You've not finished yet.
Oh no, we're still developing it. We're quite near, but, you know, as games take quite a while to do, and with a brand as well, there's additional stuff that you have to obviously get.
Yeah, sort of back and forth to make sure Kurt Russell's happy.
There's a lot of that going on. There's only certain things that you can use, and, you know, you can and can't use. But I mean, I'm going to say it, but I think it's one of the best games that we've done, to be honest. I'll tell you what it is as well. It's a Mega Ways game, but on each cascade, there's a trail. So each winning cascade, you increment the trail on the left-hand side. So I press spin, I get 3 jacks. It moves the trail up 1. It cascades down. I get 3 queens. It moves it up to 2. So there's a trail which moves up towards the bonus. But halfway up the trail, we're going to add modifiers. So when you're on trail 5, and I've been quite close to the brand as well, because there's 7 different coordinates in Stargate to get through to, as people will know. So I tried to tie the game into the brand as well.
Oh my God! I just hope that some people who are watching are massive Stargate fans, because then you brought them all on side. So you'll hit those modifiers, and those modifiers will then help you get to level 7, right?
Yes, exactly. So we've got like wild reels, we've got random symbols, we've got what else we've got regenerate, which brings you a new board. We've got more ways. So there's about 5 different. There's 5 or 7 different modifiers, I should know, which help you increment the trail. So that's quite nice, and I think that's one in every 70 or 80 you hit that. Yeah. So there's quite a lot going on. We're doing buy bonus as well. So on that as well, we're doing buy bonus, where you're not actually buying the bonus, you're buying it on level 5 where you get the modifier. So potentially.
Right, I see. Yeah, so you get a cheaper. So you get it cheaper, get to level 5, you might get a bonus, you might not. Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
and it's relatively cheap as well. It's way cheap. I think it's like 33 times your stake, to be honest. But you can get any one. There's 3 different bonuses as well. There's level 7, level 8, and level 9 bonus as well. So all on brand, all on music. It looks fantastic. Yeah, I'm really proud of this one. When we get it complete. So for me, that's probably the one that is the highlight. So yeah, there's loads more content coming out. There's loads more content coming out this year, and I think you know, like I said, more targeted towards each one of the individual markets that we're focusing on.
Okay, look, that's really exciting, Jules. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I'm sure it's a great opportunity as well for people to leave in the comments what they think about SG Games, good or bad. He said before the interview he's got a thick skin, so let him know what you think. Let him know what you'd like to see. Maybe you're a big Stargate fan and you just want to wax lyrical about it in the comments. I'm sure he will read them all. Until next time, take care, guys. Say bye, Jules.
See you later. Have a good weekend, everyone.
See you later, guys. Bye bye.